I'm so honored and humbled to be a part of this amazing group of activists.
Put this stuff up to your higher-ups, and if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
Without a doubt, there will be backlash because I'm not as bangable as the previous hosts. It's somehow...
Talk to him, Frost!
It has somehow been expected that you can talk about how much you jerked off to women as a compliment. It's not a compliment.
It's weird.
It's dehumanizing and it's weird.
Maybe say, we don't want you around if you're gonna be a cunt.
Yeah.
And hateful. And that the games industry is diverse naturally. Not because anyone's making them be diverse, because the world is diverse, you stupid motherfucker.
I started Feminist Frequency, an organization that uses pop culture analysis as a way of making feminist concepts approachable and illuminating how systems like patriarchy and white supremacy have a concrete, damaging impact on our daily lives.
If you ever wondered how gaming became infested with activists, look no further than Anita Sarkeesian. Somehow, someway, this blubbering cunt was given several platforms to spread self-righteous narcissistic rhetoric and convince a bunch of easily swayed smooth brains her intentions were pure. Anita's approach from the start was disingenuous. She came from a place of hatred and resentment towards men, and lived with a victim complex, simply for being a woman. Most likely due to her finding it hard to fit in growing up. After all, she has shown signs of insecurity and the desire to see herself represented in media, specifically video games. Her infiltration into the games industry was not due to her love of video games. In fact, she has stated at one point that she doesn't like video games. She came into gaming because of its growth in popularity. Notice she was nowhere to be found during the Sega Saturn, PS1, and N64 generation, or PS2, Xbox, and GameCube generation. Her arrival came when gaming became mainstream and commercialized, so she could reap the benefits. Through her spreading neo-feminist propaganda for several years via YouTube videos on her Dead Feminist Frequency channel, Game Developer Choice Awards, interviews with games media publications such as Game Informer, and inspiring development studios such as Naughty Dog and Arcane Studios, Anita has impacted the games industry for the worst. We now have emasculated male characters and effeminized female characters with faces that look as if their face scan models were trampled by a stampede of hippos. During her time in the spotlight, a generation of female and male third-wave feminists emerged due to her aggressive approach at activism and influence on modern games. Many weak-minded individuals may think their Sarkeesian way of thinking is them quote-unquote maturing or quote-unquote growing up. But in actuality, they've abandoned their values, growing soft and submissive and developing thin skin, intolerance, and a mindset reminiscent of a cult. Despite these individuals showing their hypocrisy and double standards more often than not. Over the years, we've seen journalism go downhill. Yeah, they were flawed before activism took over. Games media sites were known for saying dumb shit and take part in shady behavior over the years, which originally spawned Gamergate. But that has intensified along with insane levels of activism. And it's safe to say the widespread of activists within the games media has a lot to do with Anita Sarkeesian's handiwork. Perfect examples are Frost, Alyssa McConte, and Kim Belair. Unless you've been living under a rock, you would have noticed activists infesting game studios, turning once beloved development teams into whipped ideologists and beloved franchises into DEI social experiments for ESG money. And it doesn't matter if it's a Western studio or Eastern studio. Most of them have adopted the woke mind virus thanks to activists within the industry. Sarkeesian making her return to gaming will only make things worse. We've seen through the years with activist journalists, developers, and consulting firms destroy gaming, and you toss this goofy twat back into the mix, the results will be catastrophic. And if you thought this generation of games have been disappointing, then just wait till compromised studios like CD Projekt Red and Larian Studios bring Anita on as a consultant. If publishers and developers were smart, they would learn that catering to the modern audience is a fruitless endeavor. All they have to do is look at all the woke trash that flopped this year alone, or just look at what happened to Dustborn and Concord. Bringing in Anita Sarkeesian will be a kiss of death, no different than the Sweet Baby kiss of death. Activism has been a cancer in media, and the sooner it's removed, the better off we'll be. Not just for us gamers, but for the actual creative minds within development teams. People need to wake up and realize wokeness is without a doubt ruining entertainment. The amount of studio layoffs and closures, bastardized franchises, and industry bets abandoning ship should paint a clear picture. We don't need people like Anita Sarkeesian. What we really need is to take our hobbies back.
Choice feminism also obscures the fact that women don't have a real choice. We have very narrow set of predetermined choices within patriarchy. Women can choose from a pre-approved palette, but we cannot meaningfully choose liberation. We cannot choose a way out from our constraints, at least not without ending these oppressive systems that limit our options.
What?